Well, Grant, I was going to ask you about the FA Cup draw to start with, but I think the Chelsea word has been banned, has it, around the place?
Yeah, it doesn't interest me, to be honest. We've got 2-3 really important games before it. Starting with Chesterfield, it's only focused around the building. We know that we went to watch their game last week in the FA Cup against Wycombe, myself and Lee, but they've responded with a good win at Rochdale, which is never easy, and it's not as if Rochdale had a weakened team out, some strong players still, and they've gone there and put a really good performance on. I've watched it, seen the goals, so it's going to be another tough game, but it's a game that we're at home. We need to get back on the winning ways at home after the last defeat against Scunthorpe, and we need to start making our place a bit of a fortress now. If we're going to keep moving up the league.
Yeah, generally the home form, actually take out Scunthorpe recently, it's been pretty good, hasn't it? It's something you addressed and sort of have started to sort out, because that was one of the sort of major objectives, I suppose, at the start of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been okay. It can be better. It's been better than it has been in recent years, but we need to keep improving it. It's the only way we're going to get our fans back through the gate is we keep winning at home. So that's the main problem for us. We want to put on a good performance on Saturday. First and foremost, if we do that, then we'll give ourselves the best chance of winning the game.
Yeah, Chesterfield have had their off-field problems, of course, and they've struggled for results, but I suppose that can help galvanise a team on the pitch, can't it? That us against the world kind of mentality.
Yeah, I'm sure the manager will be saying that to the players. They have their off-field issues, but I'm sure he'll be saying, listen, we all need to stick together in here and stay together and start climbing up the league. But listen, whatever Chesterfield are talking about, it's not for us to speak about, really. I'm only focused on my team and getting my team to perform to their maximum, like we did for 35 minutes at Notts County. I think the sending off hampered us big time. We couldn't get our normal game, our normal pressing. We couldn't get it, into flourishing, really. But probably the biggest thing that annoyed me in the Notts County game was the fact that we didn't keep the ball, even with 10 men. We were too reluctant to get rid of it. So we've been working all week in terms of our possession-based stuff and our pressing. So hopefully we can put it onto the pitch on Saturday.
I'm sure Lee Angle is sitting there this week thinking, well, what have I done? Because he's obviously sidelined and not preparing for a game this weekend. Have you had a chat with him? Has he apologised to the lads? How's it been?
Yeah, he's apologised to me. He's apologised to the players. It's a mistake that he's made. I'm sure he won't make the same mistake again. I said after the game, we had 11 men on the pitch. We would have won the game. But wasn't to be. We've got a replay to look forward to. But first and foremost, it's Chesterfield. They have got some good individuals, but we need to make sure we're wary of their threats and make sure that we put on a good performance first and foremost. I think the last time the fans seen us at home, we were a bit disappointing against a good Scunthorpe team, but we've got to make sure we turn that around this time.
Is there an element as well with Lee of just being a bit more streetwise? You've talked this season about your players having that in terms of defending leads better, and if you make a sub late on when you're leading, the player going over to the other side of the pitch to buy a bit of time. Clever little tactics. Players are going to try and wind you up. They are going to try and get a rise out of you, and if you react, then it can result in a red card, as we saw. Is it about remembering that, thinking about that, and not reacting to make sure that they don't win in that regard?
Well, we had a similar situation last year with Chris Forrester at Barnsley, where he reacted to Hourihane stamping on his toes. You can't react, although it's wrong for what they did to you to try and provoke you. We did write to the referee. We asked him to explain why we didn't get a free kick in the build up to Lee being sent off. He says that it was a foul on Lee. Lee's reacted to being pulled, which he was stupid to do. But the strange thing about it is the fact that he said it was a foul and gave a free kick to Notts County after he sent Lee off. So the referee's apologised about that, but it doesn't do us any favours. He's apologised about the one when Lee Angle was in 1v1 when Marcus put him in and it was an offside. Blatant, he was on probably 2 yards onside. And then the penalty, So it's just ridiculous, really. But it is what it is. That game's gone. We need to focus on the Chesterfield game.
Yeah, I've got to ask about Bostwick, because he slotted in, as he has so many times, at centre half, and obviously can play more than a decent role there. Do you see him as the replacement for Baldwin in the sort of short to mid-term while Baldwin is out? You've got Ricardo Santos as well, or do you feel you might need to go in and strengthen that defence with a loan or a permanent in January?
Well, we're definitely looking. We are looking in terms of possibilities coming in January in the centre back position. But at the minute, Chris Forrester's played there for well over a year in that position in front of the back four. If I use him there on Saturday, he's no stranger to it. Ballsy's played centre half for probably as long as he's been at the club, in and out of there, so no stranger to it. Listen, I've got options. It depends what type of game it is. I know I can play Ricardo there. I know I can play Ballsy in front of the back four. Whatever game it is, it's up to me to pick the right blend, I would say. So it's yeah, I mean, that's something for me to think about for the weekend.
Yeah. And I think we've probably cursed it a bit recently because we've been talking about the injury situation really getting better and Jermaine being the only one out now. Of course, Jack has got his injuries out for a while. How's everyone else looking? Is everyone else okay?
Yeah, well, we're waiting on one. A big part of our team really. So if he doesn't make it, then we'll get somebody else in. So it's no drama really in terms of that. The injured players ain't going to help us. No disrespect to them. We can't worry about them. We've got to worry about the ones who are fit. Big blow to lose Jack. He's had his operation. It's gone successful. Surgeon's really pleased with his knee in terms of his previous injury. So Jack will be back in 8 weeks, I would say, 7-8 weeks. And knowing him, he'll probably be back sooner because of his mentality. Big loss, but we need to move on. I'm sure the boys will galvanise each other, and whatever team I pick will be, they'll all stick together and hopefully get the right result. The
other player you mentioned, is that just a knock or a niggle, or potentially something more serious?
No, it's just something that's aggravated him for a while now, and it's he knows that he needs probably a week off it, and we know the same. So it'll give him a chance to get it back to where it was. And we need to make sure that we give him every opportunity to get himself fit again for the week after, Charlton away, which is going to be another really tough game.
In an ideal world, would you have liked to have got Brad Inman some first team minutes at the weekend? Obviously didn't pan out like that because you were down to 10, but had it have been different, would you like to got him on for 10-15?
Possibly. If the game we had 11 men on the pitch, he probably could have come on and made an impact, but Brad's working hard. He knows he's way back in terms of his fitness, match fitness anyway. So he needs a lot of the under 23 games to get himself back up to speed, and he needs to treat them games as if they are a first team game and it's not, a walk in the park sort of thing. He needs to put it in because they are for him to come back to fitness. He's training well. He's putting good shift in training. His numbers are up there with everybody else, so it's good to have him back. Brad, he's definitely going to be around our squad. He was one of my signings in the summer, but I think it's important that we keep him involved in the first team squad, and if he's called upon, I'm sure he wouldn't let anybody down because he's a really good player.
Taylor was back in, wasn't he, from the start? And I suppose his performance in the first half got missed out a bit with the sending off and everything else, but he was very good, wasn't he? Pulled out wide, took on their fullbacks, caused all sorts of problems. You must have been pleased to see that from him back in the starting lineup.
Tails is a good player. There's no one's going to question that. He can turn on the ball really quickly. He's direct. He's strong. He's quick when he runs with it. The only thing missing with Paul's game at the minute is goals. And we're in a business where we need goals to win games. I spoke to Tails this morning. I said, listen, you're going to be judged on your goals. Your all-round play is great, but the goals is going to ultimately judge you. People's going to judge you on. So you were brought to the club as a striker / number 10. So in that position, you need to score goals. So Tails is fully aware of that. He's working hard. He's trying to, bring more in terms of his goals to the team. Everything else around him, what he brings to the team, is great. His character around the place is top drawer. The boys love him. So he's a big part of the squad at the minute. And if we can add some more goals to his game, it's